speaker. Her peers, in the nomination, her peers highlighted her authenticity and commitment to community and belonging. Please welcome Alexandra Puga.
She is her.
I am she. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. If I read down a lot, it's because I don't have this memorized, y'all.
You got it, girl. You got it.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Alexandra Puga, a first-generation hustler. Welcome to the 2026 UC Berkeley Haas Thrive graduation. Yay! I am the proud daughter of Aquiles Puga and Xiomara Martinez, sitting right here. With strong roots in Arenal, Lloro, Honduras, and Apurímac, Peru. I am a mixture of baleadas and lomos saltados, pollo a la brasa, the best of both worlds. Sopa de caracol, pero no me gustan los mariscos. So, I am honored to begin, or to continue the celebration, getting one step closer to being 1 degree hotter. Yes, ma'am. So, what am I not? I'm a business owner. I sell Peruvian alfajores. My business is called Alexa's Delights. I studied marketing at SJSU. I minored in Chicanic studies, and I just became a really confident business leader. While I grounded myself with community, I also really appreciate the mentorship that my Chicanic professors gave me there, because as much as we strive for entering these rooms, it's really important to know where we come from in order to know where we're going. So, with that theme in mind, I want to bring my ancestors into the space, and the reason why you see this negocia socia on the stage is because of my grandma, Ada Cárcamo. She was a strong political figure and businesswoman in her pueblo Arenal. She managed a strong political she was a strong political figure and businesswoman. Sorry, no. She managed to make a business de su ganado, selling cow, cheese, milk, and throughout Honduras. She was the jefa, the brains of the business, and that translated to my mom being a maestra and multi-business owner. She would travel to Panama to buy merchandise and sell in Honduras. And so the women in my family have really held it down for generations, and I'm proud to be of their legacy and sharing this story with y'all. And my abuela was a huge advocate for education, and with a lot of sacrifice, all of my tios were able to study in Tegucigalpa, Honduras. And my abuela, Maria Aliaga, she was also a strong woman. She held the house down for 10 kids, raising each one of them to be proud of their roots. And as they navigated financial troubles, my dad was the one to step up in the summers. He started helping out at restaurants, doing what he could to contribute to the family. From cooking hamburguesas to comida criolla, he became the Bay Area's best Peruvian chef. And I often think about the famous song El Provinciano by Luis Abanto Morales. He's a famous campesino who shares his experience as a working class andino, or alguien de provincia, or versus the capital, or you can also consider indigenous immigrant, and the nostalgia that comes when you leave your native land. And so I'm gonna sing to y'all.
Yes.
Okay. It says, I wish I had the song with me, but I didn't think that far ahead. Okay. It says, ahora que conozco la ciudad de mis dorados sueños y veo realizada la ambición que en mi querer forjé, es cuando el desengaño de esta vida me entristece y añoro con dolor mi hija.
You got it, girl. You got it.
Okay. Keep it together, y'all. Keep it together.
You got it.
Love you.
Basically, the last line is saying, like, when you leave your land, there's a certain nostalgia when you leave your heart in a certain place, right? And so, continuing on with my parents' story, Aquiles was studying agronomy, which is basically agricultural sciences in the university before he decided to move here. And it's really admirable to see how in tune my tios are with the soil. And also another song lyric from Y se llama Peru. It says, cosechando mis mares, sembrando mis tierras, quiero más a mi patria. And so shout out for music, Peruvian music for real. The music and the food. Don't get me started because I'll stop on how good the food is. Have given me the words to describe shared immigrant and working class struggles. And so it's a reminder of our deep campesino roots, shared struggles between indigenous and Afro-Peruvian marginalized communities, as well as how my grandparents also left their pueblos, traditions, language. Yes, my abuelos knew how to speak Quechua, and I really wish I could speak this entire speech in Quechua to pursue more. Aquiles was one of his siblings, the first of his siblings to come here, and clearly a very bold and resilient man. Throughout their sacrifice and lived experience, my parents have given me a life of abundance, travel, consejos, and most importantly, fostering the importance of educación. And from generation to generation, we all migrate for what we see to be a brighter future for ourselves, and somehow we all ended up in this room together. I say this because in the pursuit of a better future, I have found it difficult to remain grounded with my community, inviting my family over to dinners, sharing a slow morning, going on walks with the people I love. It seems like all of us have been living in survival mode because this economy is suffocating us day by day. I also say this because in school and in life, we internalize that Latinx communities are filled with struggle. We start to believe that and we tend to shrink ourselves. I think the education system. We don't know how to hype ourselves up because we have compared ourselves to our peers who often seem to have more support, recursos, and ganas. Pero I choose to be a prime example of Latina excellence today, being annoying on LinkedIn and making video reflections about Thrive every month. I love to make my business everybody's problem, aka being obnoxious on all social medias to build connection, my personal brand, but most importantly to help to get the word out of how fucking cool Thrive-fellows is. Thank you. And I hope after this speech I can convince some of y'all to be a part of my video. And I continue to share this story with pride. It has been a challenge to find myself as an adult so far away from home from the people that love me the most. It's not often that you hear from the Peruana or Hondureña in the room, orgullosamente chanca and catracha. And so I often challenge that even in Latinx spaces, it's very Mexican centered, and so I'm really proud to be here sharing my story that's a bit different. And when I began here at Thrive, I was going through difficult personal challenges. I was going through a post-grad transition, and at the same time, I was glued to my phone, overwhelmed by the news of ICE raids across the US. It seems that day by day went on, and I continue to isolate myself and live in fear. I know we have all felt this, scared to leave our home, scared to take that route home because we've heard of the possible migra. I felt and saw how all of my queridos became more quiet, more anxious, and afraid of even stepping outside of their homes. So I thank everyone in our family members for showing up fearlessly. Being here means sacrificing something. It could be your safety, money, someone's missing a shift, and many of us could not be here because of our obligations. But I want to take a moment to thank everybody in the room for being here. And as much as I love to celebrate this, it's also very difficult because I acknowledge that every day we have become more fearful, like I said, of being detained, killed, or incarcerated. The US government and even this institution feed money to war, ICE raids in the US. And seeing genocides happening and unfolding on our phones, it completely made me hopeless. I shrunk into the smallest version of myself. When I had no structure, I spent hours doom scrolling and had no accountability for myself. And I had no tools on how to be an advocate. And with every accomplishment lies this lingering guilt of my privilege. And this year, through the professional development workshops, the networking, I have realized that my education, and being so bold about my journey is my way to contribute for girls to see themselves in me, My continued reflection and being able to share my stories is my power, because storytelling is in my genes. So next time your dad or a tío calls us lady chismosas, just know that we are. But those chismes are our language, our preservation of our cultura. I don't know about y'all, but I love yapping with my girls on a nice walk, going on a coffee, maybe a matcha. And there's a reason why education and financial aid is being attacked right now. My education has been my liberation from working in agriculture, food, and house cleaning services, anything really physically demanding. And I remember a scholar asking at the beginning of the program, who I don't think studied business in their undergrad, they said, how do I know if my morals will align with business? I cannot justify working in business as I come from education where we are directly working with students and empowering them. And I often find myself in that stuck point of where I want to be, because I also am really invested in education as well. But I remember Hector, I hope y'all remember Hector Previciado. He said, wherever you go, whatever job you do, you can align it with your values because you are there, and there needs to be more of us everywhere. And also, I remember meeting Jules in the beginning of the program. We are both CIMO alumna, another awesome program that gives us the opportunity to get a full ride to, a master's, full-time MBA program at any of the UC schools. Think UC Berkeley, UC Davis, UC San Diego. Yeah, y'all, we have it in the bag, y'all. We have it in the bolsa for $3.99. Yeah, I know y'all didn't think of that, but hey, here we are. And I literally often say I'm like me. I'm just a little girl. Like, why would they invest in me? Hello. But I just want to take some time to appreciate my friendship with Jules. It has shown me the value of showing up. She drives up here from LA, worried about rising gas prices. An amazing mom, and she is still here. She has shown me resilience in her way of not only being present, but also adding so much value and being a chingona. Un ejemplo de mamá que sigue luchando por su propia educación. She stays with me at my house, and that is my home girl now. Never forget, girls. It's always beautiful to have adult friendships with your girls, and maybe I value that 100% more because I'm an only child. And I'm happy to have her be a part of my family, as I love developing my chosen family. Okay. And now it says, let's bring it back to how it all started. Professor Queen Jax gave us a powerful class on code switching while staying authentic. And this year has been exactly that for me. I had the audacity to raise my hand at the LinkedIn quarters, and then later in my business invited to sell at my first corporate office. I had the audacity to raise my hand at a panel for Latina entrepreneurs and Thrive and share where I'm at. And they've all led me to great people and great experiences and one job offer. And because I want people to be invested in my dreams, I am practicing self-love every time I enter rooms and choose not to be quiet. I know that's a very difficult challenge for us ladies. It can be very intimidating to be in spaces where it's male-dominated. So I want to make sure I leave every room and everybody knows exactly who I am. I want people speaking loudly or positively in rooms that I'm not in, because that is a strategy here in Masters of Business programs. It's more about who you meet than the actual academics. From management, leadership of tomorrow scholars that I've met, to Mayreli Urias, who's a crazy smart engineer, to the president of UC Berkeley student government body, Victoria Vega. She's not here with us, but in spirit. I am surrounded by mujeres excelentes. I have also gotten so many gems of knowledge from the speakers about not leaving rooms for what ifs. A lot of times we don't take chances in life because we think that we can go wrong. Claudia Martinez told us to chase what we want without leaving the room for what ifs. Felix Miranda reminded us that walking into any room, knowing you add value, that is our power. And Celeste Fayuaso asked us, what are you truly passionate about and why does it matter? And then there was the listening exercise. Yes. Our coach Charlie Reese introduced something called the listening ladder. The concept is simple. Stay quiet and truly hear the other person before you respond. It's a simple concept, but very hard for me. I'm a very chatty person. I'm a natural yapper. And as my family in this room will confirm, it's true, I love to talk, and if they gave me the mic for the full 3 hours, I would still be here, y'all. But in all of this time, in silence and reflective moments, I've really heard and listened to my own wants and needs and desires. And I really hope to walk away with this with people that know me profoundly, not for who I am, but for my heart. And I also want to know all of y'all for your hearts as well. And that's just the energy that I give in every room. And I hope that we continue to make spaces that reflect that in whatever work that we do. So thank you to y'all for listening to me. Thank you to the families and the parents in the room for making us food when we don't really want to cook for ourselves. For being there in ways of support that it wouldn't really be possible. This is a shared logro. And I also surprised my parents. They did not know until today that I was going to be on this stage. I'm not going to bore you anymore. Basically, my motto is very simple. I'm learning. It's just called Éxitos. I like to end my LinkedIn post with this now. It's just because I really, truly love to see others succeed. So, Éxitos a todos. We're here. We're getting started. We're going to continue to cross paths whenever, I don't really know when, but wait, yeah.
I'm gonna choose most a llorona too, because it got me. All right, now our next speaker. Your peers were inspired by your commitment, grit, and consistently willing to share resources to uplift others. Welcome.